Welcome to another installment of 5 Killer Riffs, where I fumble my way through some of the greatest guitar riffs by some of the greatest guitar players of all time. And today is no different because we're taking a look at Michael Schenker. Michael Schenker, to me, is the archetype of a lead guitar player. If you think about rock and metal guitar playing, I guess through the 70s and 80s, on one hand, you've got guys like Tony Iommi, the kind of the riff lords, the guys who are amazing rhythm guitar players and who wrote the songs and the riffs that are so memorable. And then you've got guys like Ritchie Blackmore, who wrote his fair share of pretty epic riffs as well. You can go and check out my Blackmore 5 Killer Riffs video. That was actually the very first one I did in this series. But Michael Schenker, to me, has to be one of the most influential lead guitar players. In my mind, you don't have a Randy Rhoads or a Kirk Hammett or a Marty Friedman or a John Sykes or a Doug Aldrich without Michael Schenker. His tone, his vibrato, his sense of melody, his ability to absolutely shred, yet at the same time play parts which fit perfectly in a song, and to write great riffs is probably second, well, I won't say second to none, but he's right in that top tier for me. And I find in a lot of the discussions nowadays about, like, you know, the greatest rock guitar players and the greatest metal guitar players of all time, people forget about Michael Schenker. He was in the Scorpions when he was 16 years old. Think about that. Then he went on to join UFO. He briefly rejoined the Scorpions. He had his own group, Michael Schenker Group, then the same initials, but with Robin McAuley, MSG, McAuley Schenker Group. He was even in Rat for a little while, if you can believe that. And he's lived the life of a rock star. He's probably used up his 9 lives if he was a cat. Very, very interesting guy. But we're going to start with, I think, the riff, or really the melody, really the harmony part that everybody associates with Michael Schenker, and that is the song Doctor Doctor. There are 2 parts going on here. There is a high lead guitar part, and then there's a harmony. And to me, this is the song that invented Iron Maiden. Here's just the main harmony part. I actually remember going to watch Iron Maiden, and they always play that song as the song before they go on. I remember standing in the pit and Dr. Doctor started and they cranked it up through the PA, and this guy next to me just started going, Maiden! It's like, dude, it's UFO. So yeah, without that song, without UFO, without Michael Schenker, I don't think you get a band like Iron Maiden and all their contemporaries. So absolutely classic song. If I didn't put that in, I would probably get a lot of hate in the comments. I'm probably going to get that anyway because I'm probably butchering these songs. But nevertheless, let's move on to maybe one of Michael's lesser known riffs, but I think his absolute coolest riff. It's the riff from the MSG song Captain Nemo. Everything about that is so idiosyncratic and kind of hard to play. It's taken me a long time to kind of wrap my fingers around that riff, and I still can't play it properly. To me, it sums up all the things that are absolutely beautiful about Michael's rhythm and lead playing. While we're talking about MSG, maybe a slightly more straight ahead riff, and one of the first riffs I ever learned on guitar, the song Armed and Ready. Played that song, I think, when I was 16 years old at like a school talent show or a school music night, playing a V, and yeah, just kind of this matchstick thing kid trying to play Michael Schenker licks. It was pretty funny. I'm pretty sure there's some footage of it somewhere, so I'll have to try dig that up at some point. Moving along with the MSG stuff, I think one of the coolest riffs, and one which incorporates some neoclassical elements in there perhaps, is the instrumental song Into the Arena. This is how the main riff goes. If you haven't listened to that song all the way through, go and have a listen to the solos as well, because to me they're almost like a history of rock and roll guitar. The first solo is very much this like 50s and 60s inspired like Michael Schenker take on Chuck Berry or something like that. Just a lot of cool double stop lines and pentatonic things. And as the song progresses, kind of gets crazier and crazier and shreddier, but it still maintains that sense of melody. So you've all been sitting there going, when's he going to talk about Strangers in the Night? When's he going to talk about that version of Rock Bottom? Well, I'm going to talk about it now, because I said Captain Nemo might be the most kind of Schenkerish riff there is, but for me, the song that I heard that made me fall in love with Michael Schenker was the song Rock Bottom by UFO. And I remember getting the album Strangers in the Night, the live album, and listening to this version on repeat. Honestly, just skip the album version, just go and check out that Strangers in the Night live version. It is so amazing, but let's just do the main riff for now. This is one of my favorite riffs of all time. There's 5 killer riffs, in my opinion, by Michael Schenker. If you haven't gone and listened to the UFO material he recorded, the early Scorpion stuff, Lonesome Crow, and I think he recorded a few songs on the Love Drive album as well, and then the various MSG albums. He's just such a killer player. Unbelievable vibrato, great tone, great chops. He's the whole package. If you haven't gone and listened to Michael Schenker by the end of this video, go and do it now. And I was talking about that live version of Rock Bottom from Strangers in the Night. It's an absolute masterpiece in live rock guitar soloing. And I'm just going to play something which kind of sounds like that. Forgive all the slop in there, but I love Michael Schenker. I hope you guys love him too. Let me know what your favorite Michael Schenker guitar moments and riffs are in the comments, and I will see you guys next time.